Let's start here in George, and the Forensic Pathology Services there encouraging or urging family members to be patient as the identification of their loved ones may take longer. The service says measures have been put in place to fast-track the process. Some bodies right now not easily identifiable. The death toll is at 24, with 28 still unaccounted for.
The identification process is going to be a tedious process, first off. So we're going to start. We've put a couple of things in place to start streamlining the process. For the simple reason that we need to verify firstly the family and connect families to the actual a body or a WC number in our case. So what we've put in place is that we will, as soon as any information is available or any pictures and so forth. So we'll start at the beginning, all right? So we take pictures on scene of the actual victim. Then we will take the body back to our facility where further pictures will be taken. Once we have started the post-mortem process, we will take more pictures in terms of the clothing, any identifiable marks like tattoos, scars that family members might know of, and those type of things. And after each case, we will compile a photo album of a deceased person.
Newzroom Afrika's Karinda Jagmohan is there. Karinda, any developments over the last 2 hours?
At this stage, the rescue personnel are still on the ground searching. You saw them about an hour ago at the basement level, so we do expect more recoveries at this time. But as they do so, there has been some scrutiny online, for example, about the assistance offered to the survivors, to the families that have lost loved ones because of the fact that some of those who worked here, some of the 81, were undocumented migrants. But many officials on the ground have said that while that is an aspect that will be looked at during the investigations, at this point it is the humanitarian efforts that must be in place to assist those that need the help in this very trying time when those that are experiencing agony. The minister and other officials also saying that those that were responsible, the companies that were responsible for this building that collapsed last week, should have a moral obligation to come and speak to the families that are still in agony. Take a listen to what the minister said yesterday.
The two calls is that everybody must really cooperate. They must help us. I know that there are people, I'm attacking nobody, there are people that are looking more on the legal matters or don't want to talk about things because it might be held against them as we go on. Look, we've got lives that are lost here. Let's all concentrate on the legal matters and all that, but also put some human element on it. I think sometimes we really lose that. I'm told that people that own this company and all have not even gone to see, not to comment, not to say this is a story and all, just to see the kind of emotions that is there. As we went there, you could see and feel the pain of those people. That would be good. But everybody must cooperate, all departments come. At the end of the day, is the work of the police to investigate. As they investigate, it will tell them whether we're going for the crime of murder or we're going for the recklessness or whatever. But for now, police are investigating.
Now, speaking about the humanitarian effort, we have seen that in this community. You see many of the residents behind me just watching over, the sound of prayers from various groups, actually from the community hall where the family is. They've left balloons here, they've left flowers, and Iman, the George municipality has requested a moment of silence from the community. They've put this out on their social media to say at 2:09 marks the time when the building collapsed last week, and at that point they asked for a moment of silence, and so that is what the community will be doing. In the meantime, some messages coming through, for example, just posted here saying our sincerest condolences. May the Lord comfort the families who lost loved ones, among many messages that are just placed here too. So really the community coming to the fore saying this is a tragedy. Now, Iman, as I wrap and leave you in the hands of my colleague Sipa Kema, there's also volunteers that have been on site and the rescue personnel. Just going back to the miracle that we saw that uplifted the spirits, I want to take you to an interview we did with the rescue personnel and their canines, Abby and Lex, who were excited to go to the scene on Saturday. Rescuers wondered why. It was because they could smell Gabriel still breathing, still alive, and they found him, and that miracle rescue happened. Take a listen to Warrant Officer Rian Leroux, and of course he was with canines Abby and Lex.
I think at first we kept it like a secret, not wanting to shout out we might have a possible person found still alive. So we used it as a big point of interest. So we worked the area as a point of interest, trying to establish exactly what was going on. We had very, well, I wouldn't say high hopes, but it was, as handlers, we were very interested to see why the dogs reacted so in a specific area. And then after finding out that it was a live patient still after so many hours, it was ecstatic for us, you know. I think as a handler, you work your whole life hoping for a moment where you can save a person's life, you know, then everything starts making sense. So for us, it was just overwhelming, really.
So there you hear, as a handler, they've worked their whole lives to rescue a person's life, and they did that yesterday. At this stage, the search and rescue mission continues, and at about 12:30, we expect the Minister of Public Works to be here, Iman, because now, after all of this has happened, a week later, there needs to be answers about the certification that was in place that allowed 81 people to be on this site, which saw this building crumble at 2:09 last week. A moment of silence at that time, and then a time for questions really about who needs to be held accountable and when will we see accountability from the companies that actually saw this development come up and ultimately crumble to pieces.
Karinda, Jagmohan, thank you very much for just giving us that view of what's happening on the ground there in George this hour. And really interesting to hear there again from the Police Minister, Becky Cele, calling for, or raising questions and criticisms around the employers themselves. While accountability is one part of the story, humanity is another part. And have they been there with the families, even if it's, the liabilities are still to be determined, just there as a show of humanity with those community members, loved ones, friends and family of those who were both injured, those who passed away, and those who still remain under that rubble.